Hello everyone, I'm going to start the chapter motivation from management. Now, these are my own notes. So, motive it means the need or inner state of a person. Motivator is anything which will satisfy your need. Motivating is the process of inducing that need, which creates a goal-oriented, goal-directed behavior in others. And the whole process of motivation can be regarded as this cycle, like a need creates a tension creates a goal directed behavior. This behavior creates a whether either satisfaction or non-satisfaction, and based on that feedback is given again to the need, and then this process keeps on continuing. Now, what can be the consequences of non-satisfaction? First can be flight, meaning running away from the solution, uh, running away from the result. Second can be apathy, meaning indifference towards the result. Third can be aggression. It can be externalized or internalized. Externalized can be towards a source or towards others, or towards others can be towards a person or any inanimate objects. And finally, it can be rationalization, like the rationalization of the result, why it happened or not. Now, the motivation can be divided into classified in three ways. First can be positive or negative motivation. Second can be basic or learned motivation. Third can be extrinsic or intrinsic motivation. Now, what are the motivational theories? These are divided into two parts. First are content based theories, which are traditional, and second are process based theories, which are contemporary. Now, content based theories or traditional theories, we will learn about this first. These are of seven types: Maslow's theory, Alderfer's hierarchy, McClellan's theory, Herzberg's two factor motivational theory, McGregor's theory X and Y, and theorist said an intrinsic theory of motivation. Now let's start with Maslow's theory of motivation. This is in this theory, like this chart is followed. There are five levels: physiological needs, safety needs, social needs, self-esteem needs, self-actualization needs. Now, in this chart, the needs are to be fulfilled from from bottom to top. So, without fulfilling physiological needs, you cannot move to safety needs. And this method of fulfilling from bottom to top is known as satisfaction progression. Now, in this, the basic needs are safety needs and physiological needs, and the psychological needs are self-esteem needs and social needs, and self-actualization need is known as self-fulfillment needs. And all the lower needs, meaning the all the bottom four needs, are the deficiency needs, and the top self-actualization need is growth need. Now, what are the criticisms of Maslow's motivation theory? First is it is of wrong order. Like you cannot say that this order is same for everyone, and it can be different for different individuals. Like for example, for Mahatma Gandhi, he was deprived of basic needs, but still he tried for self-actualization. Like self-fulfillment needs were higher in him. Now, second is position of value of sex is kept at the bottom in the physiological needs, while it can be also kept in psychological needs as well. Also, it is assumed that a person has only single motive at once, and only after completing that motive he moves on to the next motive. And it also didn't talk about spiritual needs. So after these recommendations, a Maslow's extended motivation theory was created. It contained knowledge and understanding and need for aesthetics and transcendence. So in this, the order was physiological needs, safety needs, social needs, self-esteem needs. After this, cognitive or knowledge and understanding, cognitive needs were there. Then aesthetic needs, and then self-actualization needs, and then transcendence. Aesthetic needs means physical, related to physical appearance. Cognitive means related to knowledge, and transcendence means related to spiritual needs basically. So this was the extended theory of motivation. In this, there are earlier there were five steps. In it there are eight steps. Now the second content-based theory is Alderfer's hierarchy of motivational needs. In this is based on ERG theory: existence, existence, relatedness, and growth. It was it was formed in 1696, and there is no hierarchy in this. And in this, more than one need is allowed to be fulfilled at the same time. And if one needs remained unsatisfied, individual becomes frustrated and then he regresses to the lower order needs. And this process is known as frustrated regression. Okay. Next is McClelland's achievement theory of motivation. In this, there is also no hierarchy, and there is three stages: need of achievement, need for affiliation, need for power. And need of achievement means either the person works alone or works with high achievers, and they constantly want feedback and wants to achieve greater things. Need for affiliation means they need to be liked by everyone, and need for power means they value discipline and they cannot actually give flexibility to people. So a good manager actually is consists of need for power and for achievement, as they should think less about being liked by others and should be more focused on working alone and being disciplined. So okay, that is all. Next page. Well, so next is Herzberg's two-factor or dual-factor or motivation hygiene theory. Now, this is based on two factors which are motivators and hygienes. Now, motivators are the factors which determines whether a person is satisfied or not satisfied, and hygiene factors are the factors which determine whether a person is dissatisfied or not dissatisfied. Now, in this, the difference is major thing is like a person who is not satisfied may not be like dissatisfied. There is a difference between non-satisfaction and dissatisfaction. So like satisfaction includes things like achievement and recognition, doing the work itself, the level of responsibility and advancement in the work, and growth and promotion. And dissatisfaction means the kind of company policy, administrative policies, supervision and salary, interpersonal relation and working condition, job security. Now, the satisfaction and motivators actually create motivation seekers, and dissatisfactions create are not they do not create, they are more liked by maintenance seekers. And there's a quote. It is today's motivators would be tomorrow's hygiene. So what happens is after you achieve a specific thing, they became a hygiene factor for you. So they do not act as motivator anymore. Now, the criticism is experiment was only done with engineers and accountants. In 203 engineers and accountants were studied in Pittsburgh, USA. Now, what were the Herzberg's kick in the ass? It means that providing a threat or incentive to make someone do something. Now, this can be negative physical, negative psychological, or it can be positive. Now, for negative physical, it can be threatening someone. Negative psychological, meaning it can be playing emotional games with someone, and positive can be a kind of emotion. Now, what were the okay, wait, okay, that is different, but also wait. Okay, so we can understand this factor by like maybe a company in which we are working, the achievement or growth or promotion is not much there, but also the company policy is very flexible and the salary is also very good and job security is there. Then you might not be dissatisfied from the work, but also at the same time you might not be satisfied as well. So that is what I mean by the thing that no satisfaction and dissatisfaction is same, not same. Yeah. Now, what is esteem of Maslow's model, recognition and status? Okay, yeah. So, self-esteem level of Maslow's model is divided into two parts. First is recognition and status. Now, status is the hygiene factor, and recognition is the motivator factor. And Herzberg's two-factor theory. That is all. Next is McGregor's theory X and Y. Now, theory X and Y are two kinds of individual. Theory X people follow a carrot and stick approach, and they have inherent dislike towards work. Like no, They assume that people have inherent dislike towards work. People need to be controlled and threatened. People are lazy. They are not ambitious. They dislike responsibility. They only want security. And they think that people need an autocratic leader to control them. And these kind of leaders, like Theory X kind of leaders, can better handle unskilled workers and uneducated laborers. Now, Theory X are the people who believe in a democratic and consultative and empowering work environment. These people naturally, no, they believe that people naturally put effort in their work and they exercise self-direction and control. They assume people are committed towards their work and also assume that people do relish and seek responsibility. So naturally, theory why people are more positive in nature and they better handle skilled and educated people. Now, next is Theory Z. This was used in US Japanese management style, and this was given by William Auchi. This was derived from the book Theory Z: How American Business Can Meet the Japanese Challenge, 1981. Now, the major features of this is it creates a strong bond between the company and the employee. The participation of the employee in decision making and mutual trust in the company um, is encouraged, and it is a kind of human resource development, and workers need to become generalists. Yeah, so this theory tells us worker needs to become generalist, and they should not be specialized in only one sector, and they should work in different departments to become uh, skilled in multiple sectors. And next is integrated structure of the business. It should have an equality in terms of uniform and in terms of their canteen. Like each and every worker should wear the same kind of uniform and should go to the same canteen. And down of decision making is there, which is known as Rengi system, that the workers suggest something to the leaders, and then they take the decision. So this is known as the down of making system. Like it flows from downwards to upwards, like bottom to top. Then it is also in favor of creating formation of quality circles. This was used by Maruti in India, and the benefits of this provides a stable employment, high productivity, high employee morale, and lower turnover and increased job commitment. Now, what are the criticism of this theory? These are the criticism is that the lifelong employment of someone might not be possible in all the cases. So, just assuming that given these things should create a lifelong employment is not very correct. Next is involvement of worker in decision making uh, like yeah, is not a very quick solution, or it might not be a very productive solution at all times. Next is formal structure is also needed for big organizations, and so that is all for this theory. The last theory is instructive theory of motivation. This just tells us that root of all motivation is the motivation to survive. That is all. Um, okay, so what is job satisfaction? It is basically it can be told by Herzberg that achievement leads to more job satisfaction, and also need fulfillment, that if the person is satisfied when he gets. Okay, so oh, yeah. For job satisfaction, three people told that Herzberg told that achievement leads to more job satisfaction. Need fulfillment theory tells us that a person is satisfied when he gets what he wants. And he might not always want a kind of achievement, rather, he might want stability or something like that. Next is social reference group theory. It is when a person gets what society values. So first is achievement, second is person gets what he wants, third is person gets what society values. Now, are job satisfaction and productivity directly linked? Now, this cannot be said like if a person is happier, it doesn't mean like a happier person might put more effort, but it doesn't mean they would create always generate better performance. Better perform, but on the other hand, better performance does lead to more satisfaction. wait. Oh, job satisfaction and productivity. A happier person puts more effort. This is the first analogy. Second can be a happier person doesn't mean there is better performance, while a better performance does lead to more satisfaction. That is one. Next is motivation is the interplay of four factors. First is motivation can be individual, it can be based on organization, it can be based on job characteristics, and it can be based on exogenous variables. Now, what are the factors for job satisfaction? They can be based on three things: nature of job, personal variables, and situational variables. So, nature of job depends on occupational level of the job and the job content. Personal variable means age. It can be age, like the less our age is, more we will be satisfied. And because in lesser age we are like we know that we have more time to achieve more things, but as age keeps on increasing, then we might think that we have lost all our precious time. Educational level, the lesser educated you are, more you will be satisfied in less achieving jobs. And if you get higher educated, you might look at your friends and then get jealous. Sex, and this is like moment. This is generally assumed that women tend to be more satisfied as compared to men from their job. A third is situational variable. This can depend on your environment, the group of people you are around. That is all. Now, this is for content-based theories. This is the chart altogether for Alderfer's, Hertzberg's, Maslow's, and McClelland's theory. Like in this, we can see that Maslow's five uh, physiological safety, belonging, esteem, and self-actualization needs are there. And McClelland's achievement, power, and affiliation, Herzberg's motivator and hygiene factors are there. Leffer's growth, relatedness, and existence is there. Now the higher order needs, I will name the higher order needs only. For Alderfer, it is growth. For Herzberg, it is motivator. For Maslow, it is self-actualization and esteem. For McClelland, it is achievement and power. Now, the lower order needs for Alderfer, it is relatedness and existence. For Herzberg, it is hygiene factors. For Maslow, it is belonging, safety, and physiological needs. For McClelland, it is affiliation need. Now, the higher order needs are the intrinsic motivation, and the lower order needs are more of the extrinsic motivation. That is all. Now, next is process based on contemporary theories. Now, next is process-based or contemporary theories. First is Vroom's expectancy theory. It is based on like it is a formula that expectancy multiplied by instrumentality multiplied by balance is equal to motivational force. Now, what is expectancy? It is defined as the amount of effort you put in a work. Instrumentally means the performance, and balance means the rewards. It can range from -1 to +1. -1 would be avoiding the outcome, 0 would be indifference towards the outcome, and +1 would be welcoming the outcome. Now, the force here is balance into the expectancy, like the balance into expectancy. Okay, rewards into effort will be force, and effort into performance, and with reward, it will be the motivational force. Motivational force is basically force into performance. Now, criticism of this theory is that these things should be additive and it should not be multiplicative. It is written in Oxford's Handbook of Motivation because if it is multiplicative, if one factor becomes zero, all of it will tend to zero. So it doesn't really sound okay. Okay, so another criticism is it won't work without an active participation from the managers. Now, next is Adams equity theory. Uh, okay, first is equity norm. It means self-comparison of a person, and second is social comparison. It means a person who compares themselves with their co-workers. Now, there is three types of inequity. First can be overpaid or positive, which leads to guilt that you might not have worked so much as hard as you should as hard, but you have gotten better results, which leads to a kind of guilt. Second is underpaid or negative, like you have worked harder but you have got lesser results, which leads to anger. Third is equity, means you have got results as per your hard work, and this is equal in nature. Now we can re-establish the equity in the following ways. Like we can either change the inputs, or we can change the outcomes somehow, or we can distort our perception of self, We can distort the perception of others, or we can choose a different referent, like the person we are comparing ourselves with, we can choose a different person for that, or we can totally leave the field. Now, the reference in an equity theory, it can be self inside, self outside, others inside, others outside. Now, self inside means we can compare with ourselves only, but when we were in a different position or and in the same company. Now, self outside means we comparing with oneself, but when we were in a different company. Now, others inside means we compare with another person, like another employee, but in the same company and same position. Now, others outside means we compare with another employee, but in a different company. Now, there are three types of individuals. First are benevolent, second are equity sensitives, third are entitled. Benevolent people prefer to be under-benefited, equity sensitives wants to be equally benefited, and entitled wants to be over-benefited. Now, organizational justice. This is of three types: distributive justice, procedural justice, and interactive justice. Distributive justice is equity, equality, and needs, and I don't remember this earlier. The next is criticism. Criticism of this model is this is very simple in nature, and it is made in a lab-based setup and might not work in real world. It is not easy to have equity in whole organization for managers. It can be unrealistic at times, and people perceive equity or inequity based on their like overall self like system. Like it cannot be possible for everyone to have equity, and it is based on their self belief, what they think they deserve. So it might not be right all the time. That is all I think. Okay, a small part was left. What is moral? Moral means esprit de corps, and just means the is like what are the factors affecting moral. It are these are organization, nature of work, level of supervision, workers perception of reward system, of job activities of the employee. Now, moral and productivity are not directly proportional, but high moral does lead to higher motivation, and no, high moral might not always lead to higher motivation, but higher motivation always leads to high moral. And yeah, and okay, high moral and productivity are not directly proportional, and okay, yeah, this is because productivity depends on the whether the resources are also present there or not with which we can work, and this high moral uh, does not always lead to high motivation, and high motivation always leads to high moral. And high motivation is primary in an organization, and high moral is secondary. That is all.